Okay, so this is the way this method works. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the last number and the middle number. Okay, so the last number is -8. The middle number is 7. Right? Okay, so you're going to figure out which two numbers multiplies to the last number and adds to the middle number. Okay, so what two numbers can multiply to -8 and add to +7? Okay, so -1 and +8, right? Okay, so you can multiply to 8 by 1 and 8, 2 and 4. That's pretty much it, right? Those are the only factors of 8. Okay, so to equal a +7, it would have to be a +8 and a -1. Okay, so that basically gives me my quantity. So the factored form of this is going to be x plus 8 and x minus 1. And that's all that you have to do.
You can do that either way, right? Write that either way.
Okay, good question. It does not matter the order that I write the two quantities in. The 8 has to be positive. Yes, that is true. But I could write the x minus 1 quantity first and the x plus 7 second. Or 8, excuse me. Okay, so let's try number 7. Okay, so for this one I say, what two numbers multiply to 24 and add to +10?
6 and 4.
Whoa, you guys said that fast. Oh, okay, so 6 and 4. So x plus 6 and x plus 4. Good? Okay, this time let's try it again, but this time write it down. Don't say the answer out loud. Everybody write it down. You should have a piece of paper. Okay, number 6. What two quantities or what two numbers multiplies to -45 and adds to -12? Multiplies to -45, adds to -12. Everybody got it?
Oh, yeah.
Written down?
Yeah.
Did I give you enough time? Everybody good? Good? Okay, so the answer to this is x minus 15 and x plus 3. Okay, so -15 times 3 makes -45, and -15 plus 3 makes -12. How many people got that right? Uh-oh.
Let's do another one.
All right, let's definitely do another one. Let's definitely do another one. All right, number 5, write it down. Number 5, write it down. What two numbers multiply to -32 and adds to 14? If you feel like you need to use a calculator, don't be hesitant. You can use a calculator if you're having trouble finding factors of 32. I hope you don't have to use a calculator, but let's just be honest. -32. Right. So if you're multiplying to a -32, what do you know about the two numbers?
One has to be negative.
One is negative, right? One negative, one positive. Are we got a competition going? Oh, good. A little healthy competition, okay. Everybody good? Everybody got an answer written down?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So the answer to this one is x plus 16 and x minus 2. How many people got that one? Oh, good, more hands.
I was still writing the problem.
Okay. Are you ready? Okay, here's the next one. Write it down. Don't say it out loud. Write it down. Number 4. Number 4.
Wait, I already seen it.
Well, open your eyes.
Done.
No way. How are you done?
Done. I literally just wrote it down. Done.
How are you
I'm
done?
not even.
Did you write it?
I'm not gonna write anything else. I'm done.
Did you write it?
Yes. I'm done.
No, let me see it. Let me see it, and I'll say if they're in or not.
How did you do that?
I can't see
12
that.
and 10. I'm done. Boom.
That was fast.
Yeah. That was faster than the first one, actually.
That was impressively fast.
I knew the numbers, but he doesn't write down the problem.
All right, so Trey let the cat out of the bag. 12 and 10, yeah?
It just takes me a while.
That's all right. It's not a race. Trey would disagree, but it's not a race, actually. Okay, ready?
Okay, I got rid of
Are you ready? That was pretty lucky.
How did you get it?
Okay, ready? Number 3.
I don't know. I'll go. Wait, no, I wrote it. Right. I don't know.
Okay, good.
Uh-oh.
I got it.
Uh-oh. I messed up. I was a little slow. Yeah. I just said it right.
That's what I was doing.
Okay, I got so
I have no idea.
No, I won't take a calculator away. I would hope that you can, but...
I either try to divide by 10 or...
All right, we good? Everybody got the answers?
No.
Not yet?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You want me to keep going? All right, so did we get x minus 11 and x minus 4? How many people got that one? Okay, we're getting more. That's more hands. I'm feeling better. Okay, let's see. Where's number 2? Okay, ready? Oh, hold on. You see it? Oh, oh, there we go. It doesn't have a number, but we're going to do this one. Say the answer.
I got it. Done.
Oh.
You even had. Yeah, right there. That's fine. That is a 6.
I know, right?
That's what I do.
That's what I do. I just erase this.
That's the only one I got right now.
Okay, on the 12 and 10, I was literally just like...
It's not neat. That's what I was thinking of. It's not way too hard for that.
All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, so did everybody get x plus 5 and x plus 6?
Yeah.
How many people got that one?
I thought way too hard.
100%? Okay, so we feel good about the easy method, the first method. So we're going to call that one the easy method. Okay? Because there's 2 methods, yep. All right, so that one was the easy method. Let's go to the other method. All right, so the other method is the box method. In OneNote, I have given you this step-by-step of how to do it. Okay, I'm not going to read through this. Okay, I'm just going to do it. We're going to do an example. We're going to work on it together.
We would not use the easy method.
What? Oh, well, that's a good question. Sometimes you have to do the box method. Okay, so in this case, so you guys see my quadratic up here? You see that? I have to do the box method. You cannot do easy method on this. Why? What's the difference?
There's a number in front of the x.
Exactly. Okay, anytime there is a number that's in front of the x squared, you have to do the box method. You can't just do easy. Okay? All right, so this is how the box method works. You start by taking the first term, which is what? 3x squared. Okay, and I put it into that first place in the box. Okay, and then I take the last number. What's the last number? 12, and that goes in the last spot in the box, down below. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the numbers that are in my two boxes right here. Okay, I'm going to ignore x's for now. So I'm just going to do 3 times 12. What's 3 times 12? 36. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the easy method, but I'm going to use 36 instead. So I need two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to positive 13. Okay, so what two numbers multiply to 36 and add to positive 13? What are multiples of 36? 6 and 6 would make 12. What else?
2 and 8.
2 and 18. 2 and 18 could not make 13. 9 and 4. There you go. 9 and 4 can make 13. 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay? So those are going to be my other two numbers in the box. Okay? But what I'm going to add to that is these are going to be both linear terms. Okay? So both of those numbers are going to be put in with an x. Okay? So now you see those little boxes on the outside. What's that? Again, does not matter. Good question. Okay? All right, so we see those boxes on the side and on the top. Okay, all we're going to do is we're going to pull greatest common factor out of that row. Okay, so you see the row 3x squared and the 4x. What's the greatest common factor of 3x squared and 4x?
1x.
X, right? So that goes here. Okay, on the bottom row, what's the greatest common factor of 9x and 12? 3. Okay, then I'm going to do my columns. Okay, what's the greatest common factor of 3x squared and 9x? 3x. Okay, what's the greatest common factor of 4x and 12? 4. Okay, so at this point, I have my two quantities. What are the two quantities? Do you see them?
Is it 3x plus 4?
Yeah, exactly. So the first one is the one on top, and the second one is the one down the side. Okay, does it matter which order I write those in? Which one goes first? No, doesn't matter. Okay. So what I want you guys to understand, though, is that if I took this factored form and I FOILed it, okay, so remember like we did this before, if I FOIL, so what's 3x times x?
3x.
3x squared. What's 3x times 3? 9x. And what's 4 times x? 4x. And what's 4 times 3? Okay, so if I add my like terms here, I can add those x's. I get 3x squared plus 13x plus 12. Okay, so do you see how those are the exact same statement? Okay, they're completely equivalent. It's just two different ways to write it. One is standard form, the other's factor. How to FOIL? Oh, no. Do you want me to write it?
I remember from last year, I just don't remember exactly what.
Oh, oops. That's an L. Don't write an L. FOIL. First. Outer. Inner. Last. Good there?
Me too. I have one.
All right, let's try it one more time. Let's see if we got this. Ready? Everybody ready? Here we go. What do I do first?
First term.
Okay, which is?
3x squared.
So 3x squared. Yep, that's right. I can zoom in a little for you. Okay, what's my last term?
Oh, 6. 6.
6. Okay, so then what do I do from there?
Times
I multiply them. Okay, so what is 3 times 6? 18. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 18 and add to negative 19. Okay, so negative 18 and negative 1, right? Negative 18 and negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to say negative 18x and negative, do I really need to say 1x? Can I just say x? Is everybody okay with that? If you feel like you want to say 1x, go ahead. All right, now what do I do? Greatest common factor. Okay, so what's my greatest common factor for C? The top row? 3x. Okay, what's the greatest common factor in the bottom one? Okay, so notice that the first number is a negative. Okay, is everybody looking at this? Because this is a really important part. See how my x is negative? I have to pull out a negative something. If the first number is negative, I have to pull out a negative. So I'm going to pull a negative 1. Good. Okay, what about my vertical? What's the greatest common factor for the vertical? Just x, because you can't pull a 3 out of the bottom one, right? Okay, what's the greatest common factor of B? Negative 6. Yeah, negative 6. Right, yeah. Okay, so my two quantities are x minus 6 and 3x minus 1. Everybody good? Are you sure? Okay, I'm going to give you a test question. Okay, so on your piece of paper, I want you to do question number 5. Okay, so on your piece of paper, write it down. You got a question, raise your hands. All right, so let's go over this one. This is very, very interesting in my opinion. All right, so what's my first step on this box method? So I put negative 5x squared here, and I put 4 here. And then what do I do? Multiply. So what's negative 5 times 4? Negative 20. So I need two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add to positive 8. 10 and negative 2. Okay, so 10x and negative 2x. All right, ready? So then we pull greatest common factor out, right? So of the top row, what's my greatest common factor? Negative 5x. Okay, what about of my bottom row? Negative 2. Okay, now of my vertical.
Is that one normal or is it
Negative. Okay, what about of the second? What? Where are you confused at?
No. Next one's going to be positive.
Positive 2, right? Greatest common factor, 2 out of this one, right? Okay, so the two quantities that we get are negative x plus 2 and negative 5x minus 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now wait a second. If I try and FOIL this, the very first term, what's negative x times negative 5x? Positive 5x squared. So that means that our answer is not right. Okay, so here is a hang-up. Okay, when you are doing the box method, the first term has to be positive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this original piece. Okay, and all I'm going to do is simply pull out a negative out of every term. Okay, so if I pull a negative, I'm going to have negative, and then I'm going to have 5x squared minus 8x minus 4. Okay, so this is the piece that I'm going to factor. Okay, so that's going to change some things back here. So let's just quickly, it's not going to change a lot of things. Okay, so everything just turned opposite, right? Okay, so now my first number is a positive 5x, I have a negative 4, right? Okay, so then what do I do at that point? What do I do at this point? Multiply. Okay, so you still get negative 20, so the numbers are still going to be the same for the linear pieces. Okay, the two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add to negative 8 are what? Negative 10 and positive 2. Okay, so that switches. Okay, so now we'll pull greatest common factor. What's the greatest common factor on the top row?
Negative 5x.
You mean positive? Okay, good. Second row? 2. Okay. Vertical. X. Okay, second vertical, there goes. Negative 2. Okay, so those two quantities are x minus 2 and 5x plus 2. And then we have to still use this negative that we initially pulled out. Okay, that's still part of the fully factored version. Okay, so this would be fully factored. Okay, now if you came up with an answer before that was either negative x plus 2 with a 5x plus 2, or an x minus 5 and distribute the negative through the second one, any of those would work. Okay, they are all equivalent. Okay. So, should we try one more, make sure we got it? Let's try one more. This one won't be a faulty one. This should be straightforward. I had to throw the faulty one in so you understood that one case, right? Yeah. Okay, so do question number 1. Let's see if we got it. Let's see if we can get 100% across the board here. Number 1. Alright, here we go. So I got 6x squared here. I got 1 here. If you multiply 6 times 1, that makes 6. So two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 5x are
1, 5, 2, and 3.
2 and 3, right? So 2 and 3. What? Yeah. 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 Yeah.
For real?
All right. What's my greatest common factor on the top? 2x. Second row? 1, right? 1. So we always have to pull something. Vertical? 3x. Second one? 1. So how many people got 3x plus 1 and 2x plus 1?
Boom.
Who got that right?
Shekel.
Oh. I don't believe you. You didn't even do it. All right.